What is going on, guys? It's your boy Slick, and today I'm not really going to be talking about too much other than how the Type 90 will affect War Thunder. I know, it's got the most pen in game. Let's all fucking scream and cry and go nuts because it's got more pen than the Leopard and it uses the same gun. It's not really that big of a deal in my opinion, and I'm going to let you know why, and I'll get feedback from you guys and you let me know how you feel about it. So the Type 90 is Japan's new top tier MBT. Fantastic tank. It looks almost like a Leopard clone. The only thing about this tank that I actually like better than the Leopard is the gun sight placement. The gun sight placement on the Leopard is to the right of the gun. The gun is oriented 180 degrees in the opposite direction, and the gun sight is actually a weak spot on the Leopard if you don't know yet. So if any of you guys played on the server, if you see a Leopard, shoot it in the gun sight. You'll kill it. I learned that trick way back in Armored Warfare, actually, because Armored Warfare is a very World of Tanks style arcadey tank game, and any flat spot of armor you could just hit. As long as you had higher pen value, you would do damage. So it's the same thing with the gun sight, and it kind of works similar in War Thunder because the gun sight doesn't actually have armor. You know, in real life it wouldn't have armor the same as the composite around it, so you would be able to technically get an APFSDS shell through that. So the Type 90 avoids that problem. It's quick as shit, and it has the 120 with a very, very high pen round. 540, I believe, at the closest distance. It can also drift the machine around walls, which is pretty sick. A lot of people are up in arms about the fact that this round is higher penning than the Leopard, and this tank didn't actually use that round, and the Leopard did. Don't worry. The Leopard has a good lineup. It doesn't need that round. When we're talking about 400 to 500 pen, you're still aiming for the same weak spots. You're never aiming at the composite armor anyway, and you shouldn't be. If you think that you need 500 mils of pen in this game to make it a top tier, you're just flat out wrong. I would do the same amount of damage with 300 as I would with 500, and the reason for that is I shoot at weak spots regardless. There are weak spots at front of tanks that you can pen with 300 mils of pen. That's the same argument with the Abrams. You know, and people saying that the Abrams is underpowered now because it has the lowest penning round. It's got a 105 at the top tier. I mean, it's not the M1A1. It's not the M1A1 or the M1A2 or the M1A3 SEP V17. You know, it's not what we use now. It doesn't need millions of penetration. It just needs enough to get through the armor and do damage. And what I've noticed that they've done this patch, at least in the test server, is there's more post-pen damage from APFSDS, and the ammo racks explode almost every time you hit them, which is what I asked for. It's nothing more, nothing less. I asked for the rounds to start doing damage. They could have released this patch and just fixed how post-penetration works, and I would have been happy. But they added a bunch of new tanks, and that's pretty sick. So the protection on this tank is alright. It's not the best. I don't think it's as good as the Leopard 2. But it could be a little bit better. I don't know. You know, again, it doesn't really concern me. I'm more interested in flanking and not relying on my armor at this tier. At top tier, you don't need to rely on armor. You shouldn't. It's like you know, oh, I got hit and my armor did save me this time. Thank goodness. That's how you should be playing. You should be using your speed and gun to get around people and shoot people. Now, something that this tank does have that the Leopard doesn't, as well as the ammo, is it actually has a 5-second reload with an ace crew. The Leopard 2A4 has a 6-second reload with an ace crew. So it's got a 1-second faster reload and better rounds. So why shouldn't Germany be up in arms, Slick? Well, the reason why is the lineup. This thing doesn't get a hot as a backup. This thing doesn't, it gets a Gepard, I guess. But it doesn't have a hot. It doesn't have another version of itself. The best tank you can get besides the Type 90 in the Japanese tree is the Type 74. A whole BR lower. It shoots different rounds. It has way less armor. It's not as fast. It is a completely different tank. The Leopard 2A4, on the other hand, gets a Leopard 2K, a Gepard, a Hot, and a MiG with the best rockets in the game, in my opinion. I still think Tiny Ivans are beast. So, for all you German players who are saying, well, we need more, it's the hardest nation to play, take a reality pill real quick, alright? Alright, get some water, swallow it. Alright, now you understand, right? It's not the hardest thing to do. It is actually pretty easy to play Germany in this game, and I still think top tier Germany has the best lineup. Very close with the Americans, by the way, because they have the Abrams and they have two variants of the MBTs, along with the 163 and decent air support. Especially now with the Fury being added, that's a great plane for top tier air support. So we need to not worry about why Germany didn't get the round, and we need to just be excited for what they're going to be adding, because the fake armor on the Leopard 2 compared to its old variant. So the Leopard 2A4 actually has armor from an earlier Leopard 2, and the reason for that is they're probably going to add more stuff. Gaijin's smart. I think, especially after this patch, I'm done questioning them on the content addition front. I will still cut their bullshit if things don't work in-game, like me clipping on random rocks and stuff. But as long as they're adding stuff, I think they have a purpose, and I think they have an idea of what they want to do. And I think the thing that they want to do is they want to add more tanks. They want this game to be more modern. And it feels great. Playing this modern tank, especially on this new map, by the way, which is absolutely gorgeous. If you see me go through any of the small little restaurants and stuff, you can actually read the signs. This is something that we haven't seen in War Thunder ever. So that's awesome. Just a small side note. But I think they're going to be adding more than just these tanks this patch. There's going to be patches after this, and there's going to be more tanks added after this. And I think those tanks might call for the ammo to be upgraded on the Leopard 2A4, and the armor to be upgraded on the Leopard 2A4, and modifications to be added for, let's say, the T-64B. Think about how they did the BV. And I think that's the smartest way to do it. You know, you limit yourself in the beginning, you add all the tanks, and then you up the values to where they're balanced and equal. They need to see how these play out. This is a big, big addition to War Thunder. All of these tanks, this is like April Fools actually coming to fruition and actually being put in War Thunder. So they need testing, they need to see it done, they need to see what happens, they need to see how it works out. So I think everybody who is complaining before the patch is even out, you need to relax. I say this every patch, but especially this patch. Relax, let's see how these tanks play out, let's see how the game plays out, and we'll figure out what you think at the end, you know? Well, I think they're in the right track. I think they're on the right track. I think they're doing the right things. They added a lot of unique vehicles at the lower tiers and the mid tiers. They added the X-Bomb, which is awesome. You know, those are things that I wasn't expecting, especially the 221, which I'm actually going to make a video on in a separate video. And if you don't know what that tank is, you are in for, I wouldn't even say tank, armored car. If you don't know what that armored car is, you're in for a treat, because I don't know how many people actually noticed that, because there's so many top tier goodies being added. But it's pretty goddamn dope. It's a 20 mil APCR shooting German tier 1 1.3 armored car based on the 222 chassis. I mean, it's the 221, but the 222, the 223, all the cool tanks or armored cars from Men of War that I used to play with, they're hopefully going to be added, and I think they're on the right track with that. Guided ordnance is going to be coming, and I would think, as far as right now, we should not be concerned that the Type 90 has the best pen in the game. I don't think it's unfair. I don't think that the 540 mils pen is going to be like, oh, you can go through everything from the front. There are still tanks that can block that round from certain angles. There's still tanks that you're not going to be able to pen, and for the record, you're just as easily penned. Look at this area of the map, by the way. Look how good this looks. So let's stop talking about armor penetration. Let's start talking about what they're doing right. Being excited for the patch. I cannot wait to fight people around this corner off an equal match on Conquest where there's 3 caps. It'll be absolutely sick. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about the whole armor conniption. I'm having a conniption. The whole armor problem, the whole APFSDS pen. What do you think? Let me know what you think. Did I say something wrong? Are you disagreeing with me? That's cool. Let me know in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe if you liked what you saw, and like the video if you liked what you saw, for the record. I mean, it helps me out, and I really appreciate you all watching me. I know that this is a cool time for War Thunder, and I'm still going to be creating content on all of this new stuff, so, you know, don't miss another video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, peace.
I was a terror since the public school era. Bathroom passes, cutting classes, squeezing asses. Smoking blunts was a daily routine since 13. A chubby nigga on the scene. I used to have the tray deuce and the deuce in my bubble goose. Now I got the Mac in my knapsack, lounging black, smoking sacks up in axe and sidekicks with my sidekicks, rocking fly kicks.